Alright, next up we have Killzone Shadowfall. This was a launch title for the PlayStation 4, and my god, what is it? Was it a beautiful looking game? It was really kind of like the first game, at least around launch time, to really show you this is what potentially what you are in store for visuals in games, and that aspect was cool. As far as the gameplay is it's Killzone, so some people do not like the gameplay of Killzone. They find it too slow. This is not going to change your mind, although I will say it is a bit more smoother in this game. And The ending in this one, it did seem a little rushed near the end, but overall I enjoyed it for what it is, and you can pick it up pretty cheap now. Next up, we have another launch title. This is everyone's favorite, Knack. It seems to be everyone's favorite, considering everyone keeps asking for it on the PlayStation Plus service. So I assume everyone really, really loves this game. Uh, Me, on the other hand, I thought it was all right. It's a platformer mixed in with some like God of War like combat and whatnot. A kiddie God of War, I guess you could say. But yeah, I thought it was all right. I mean, nothing special. But one thing was cool about this was the tech on display here with the all the pieces kind of being thrown around and whatnot. I thought that was cool. Graphically, it's not the greatest, but it's serviceable. Again, it is a launch title, so overall, you can find it fairly cheap, and maybe if if you're bored or whatnot, it might be a good pickup. Speaking about good pickups, you would be hard pressed to find a better $20-$30 game than Mad Max. That's what's going for right now. And honestly, I paid. I think I got a lot, as I do with a lot of these games. I got it at E3 sale. I think about $40, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't completed the game. I will get back to it at some point. I promise. I promised myself I would. Probably after I see Fury Road, which I actually haven't really seen yet. But yeah, I love how they made the car kind of a character of its own. You do a lot of upgrades to it and whatnot. It's your baby from the very beginning of the game all the way to the end. And I like that aspect. I liked the secondary character in this one, which I believe his name was Chumbucket, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of quirky little character, but I liked him in that one. He's kind of like your tag along and your mechanic in this game. I really like that, and graphics wise, I thought it was really really well done. And by the way, this game was done by Avalanche Studios. Of course, those are the guys who did the Just Cause series. So yeah, really really cool game. I do recommend picking up, considering you can get it fairly cheaply. Now, this one was actually a very big surprise to me. But a little bit of a backstory first. I guess we'll show you. This is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. A little bit of a backstory with this one. I was never a big Metal Gear Solid fan. I kind of grew up more with the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo N64, and I was pretty much a Nintendo kid right up until the Xbox 360. And so I never really had a chance to play any of the Metal Gear games. And but the funny thing was, this of course this was announced and everyone was all hyped for it and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. But then I was watching a feature on the Giant Bomb website, and there was a cool let's play, I guess you can say, called Metal Gear Scanlan. And basically it was Drew Scanlan from Giant Bomb playing along with Dan Reichert, also from Giant Bomb, and they were playing through all the Metal Gear games because Drew had not played all of the Metal Gear games. And anyways, so long story short, basically I watched this Let's Play of them, and it was hilarious. I loved the story of it, and just the things that's a newbie such as Drew was doing in that game. I thought, why did I skip this game? Why did I not give this game a chance? So I actually got into Metal Gear through that, and I bought this day one. This is of course Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I actually also have Ground Zeroes on the PSN digitally. The other game I haven't really had a lot of time to get into or play yet is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. From what I played of it, I thought it was really neat. I really liked the first Mirror's Edge. I heard mixed feelings on this one. Some people were saying it's just like the original, which if it is, I'm fine with that. Some people say it's nothing like the original, which I wouldn't be necessarily fine with that. And some people were, I think a lot of people were like kind of in between. So we'll see. But overall, you know, I really like the original, and I'm kind of looking forward to continuing on with this game. Next up, we have MLB The Show 14, or MLB 14 The Show, however it is you want to say it. How do they say it on here? They go MLB 14 The Show on the spine, so that's how we're going to call it. So MLB 14 The Show. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I do follow the Blue Jays on occasion. I watch the odd game on TV. I always follow them on the TSN and look up the stats and whatnot. But I'll be honest, I'm a casual baseball fan. But my God, are these games awesome! These are very, very well done games. I actually own 15 and 16 digitally on the PS4. And I'm right now playing the MLB 16, the show, quite a bit online, as Buake can attest. I'm sure. But yeah, I really enjoy everything in the game. Like, they do a lot of what the next series, which we will get to. Overall, I do recommend, obviously, for a baseball fan, you definitely owe it to yourself to pick this up. Alright, so here we have two games, which I was kind of alluding to on that one. We have MLB 14 and then MLB 15. And I also have MLB 2K16 thanks to the PlayStation Plus subscription, as they gave it as part of the instant game collection or whatever a month or two ago. And I guess we'll hold up this one. So overall, the NBA 2K series is one of my favorites. Again, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but whatever it is, I really like these games. Ever since NBA Jam, I got really into the basketball video games. But yeah, I mean, I like first of all the graphics. I remember I think it was NBA 2K7 on the 360. I actually picked that up strictly because of the graphics. Everyone was talking about how great the graphics were, so I actually picked that up, and that was kind of like my first look into the 2K series, and that was phenomenal. And then with this game specifically, I liked how they they improved things like what's the My Player feature. I can't remember what they actually call it in this one. The franchise, how deep it is, I really like that. And that's the thing about with a lot of these sports games. I like that they're now kind of going almost like the sim route that you have like on PC. You have a lot of PC simulators or sports simulators, and they're kind of taking that and putting that into these video games, and I kind of like that aspect. But overall, I do recommend, of course, the newest one, which is 2K16. Now, as far as 2K16, I guess we can talk a little bit about. They have a mode now, the My Player mode, which was it? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. But no, it had Spike Lee directing it, and was it like Road to the Show or something like that? Road to something, I can't remember. And overall, like with that mode, as hyped up as it was, I thought it wasn't very well made. The story, I personally, no, to be fair, I like Spike Lee's movies, but I didn't really find his first kind of foray into video games all that entertaining. But yeah. Another one I have is Need for Speed Rivals. Basically, I didn't really have a racing game on at the time. The only systems I had were the Wii U and the PS4. And on the Wii U, I think I had Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform. But I wanted a racing game on my PlayStation, and so I just kind of picked up this one as kind of a quickie here. And I enjoyed it. My main issue with it was trying to buddy up with people online and race. And I don't even know if you can actually race people in like maybe like player races. I don't think even know if that's possible. Uh, but as far as the game itself, like I thought it was all right. I liked, the handling was fine. The graphics were actually very well done. I liked the pursuits and whatnot in this one. I liked how you can be both a cop and a you know the other guys, or street race or whatever. I thought all that was cool, and I like how they just level up progression and whatnot. My main issue with this one was that the fact that they kind of rely very heavily on the online aspect, and specifically what I hated about that. And by the way, you could play this game offline, solo, whatever, but they had it so when you were playing online, and if you were doing even a solo race, and you had an internet connection problem, or in fact, maybe a lot of times, as was the case, their server went down, it would actually kick you out of your own solo game, and you would lose all the progress of that race, which was incredibly annoying when I was going for that trophy to get like 100,000 points or kudos or whatever the hell they call it in this game, rival points, whatever it was, and yeah, but overall, I thought it was a decent Need for Speed game. Not the greatest, not the worst, kind of somewhere in between. And as a launch title, I thought it was pretty neat. Another game that was kind of hyped up originally, mainly due to the setting, but kind of disappointed a lot of people. Not so much me, but we'll get to that. It's the Order 1886. Now, the main issue I think a lot of people had with this game was first of all incredibly short, and the gameplay was a lot of you simply slowly walking to destination through hallways and stuff like that. Now, while people hated that, I liked it. I thought it added the atmosphere to the game, and you kind of got some character development and stuff like that. It was almost like watching a movie, which again, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that. The gameplay, as far as the gunplay and whatnot, I thought it was actually pretty decent. It was a decent cover shooter. It wasn't spectacular by any means, but it was serviceable for what it was. And I loved the whole aesthetic of the game. It looks beautiful. Just even the haters of this game will admit that at least it looks great. But admittedly, it wasn't a perfect game. But I would have loved to see what they would have done with a sequel. Maybe take what they have here and use that as a jump off point to actually address a lot of the problems. I don't know if Sony will do that. I don't personally think they will, but who knows? Sony's a weird company sometimes, and sometimes they're willing to give another game a chance. But we'll see. All right, so you guys know I am also a big hockey fan. I do like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, laugh all you want. That's fine. I won't cry much, but so of course, being a hockey fan, I also like hockey video games, and I have pretty much every hockey game ever made by EA. We have NHL 15, and the latest, which is NHL 16, and of course the NHL 17 beta is out, I think now, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm obviously looking forward to the actual final release of that game. But enough with 17. This is 16, and what I liked about it. The main issue with 15 was it was very bare bones. Apparently, the developers of this game didn't really have a ton of time to make this game, and so to meet the deadline, they had to cut out a lot of content, a lot of things that were very that we were used to, specifically the EA SHL and whatnot, and which was it was. It was saddening to hear. Obviously, if you're a big fan of this series, you want all the features to return, and then rather than continually adding the old features as new features, you'd like to see them add actual new features. So that was disheartening to hear, but they did add pretty much everything I was really looking for in a NHL game. So they have the GMO is improved in this when they have like a morale system and whatnot. The main thing they don't really have that I would have liked to see was the online GM mode, but I realize also not a lot of people play that, so it is what it is. But overall, if you're a hockey fan, I think you will enjoy this one. We have Ratchet and Clank. This was actually a game. What was it? A game based on the movie that was based on a video game. So this is almost like a reimagining of the first game on the original PS2. I think they also released it on the PS3 as a trilogy, HD trilogy. Really incredible graphics. Now I'm not someone's going to be all about the graphics. Obviously, you want gameplay and whatnot, which it also does have. That's what's amazing about this game is that it not only does it look beautiful, but it actually plays beautifully too. And it has a lot of character. It's charming. It's it's everything, and again, it plays well. So, what more can you ask? However, it also is really cheap. When it first came out, I think it was like $40, and I remember even myself, I was questioning why it was only $30 or $40, whatever it was, because uh, usually there's something wrong with a game when it's that price. But thankfully, nothing was wrong with it. Maybe a little short, but given the price, it was acceptable. But overall, I really enjoyed it.